Welcome to Silent and Taylees. I hope you enjoy this story. Now, let's begin.
Revenge begins with 1 point. The college entrance exam results just came out. I scored exactly 1 point. My mom went crazy. My younger sister went crazy. But me? I laughed. Because in my previous life, my sister used a life swap system to exchange our exam scores. She effortlessly got offers from Tsinghua and Peking University, while I, the top student of our entire grade, was only admitted to a vocational school, and the school erased my entire record, like I never even existed. She even comforted me. Sis, factories are short on workers these days. Maybe being a factory girl isn't that bad? But in this life, heaven gave me another chance. Back in the exam room, I slept through the entire test. And I whispered to myself, "You want to swap scores again? Then swap." Congratulations. You have activated the life swap system. Please select the person you want to swap with. I want to swap with my sister, Lin Momo. What do you want to swap with her? Our college entrance exam scores. But of course, the system had its own rules. It asked Lin Qingqing, "To proceed with this exchange, what are you willing to sacrifice?" "I'm willing to sacrifice 10 years of my life." Her voice trembled with excitement. My dear, oh so sweet little sister was ecstatic, nearly losing her mind, just for a chance to steal my score with the system. I stood outside the door, smiling faintly. "If you're willing to trade 10 years of your life for my score, I'll make sure to let you have exactly what you deserve." When I heard her choose my name for the swap, I wasn't surprised at all. After all, for 3 straight years in high school, I had ranked first every time. I was a true academic ace. In 12th grade, during the big city tests, I consistently scored over 700, and in math, I was the only one who solved all the hardest problems. No one in my class could compete with me anymore. My goal was to earn a spot at Tsinghua or Peking University. As for my sister, Lin Qingqing, she wasn't exactly gifted. Sometimes, the total score of her 7 subjects combined couldn't even match one of my subjects. My mom was really worried about my little sister, so she asked me to tutor her. I spent so much time teaching her, even gave up my own study sessions to make custom practice sets just for her. I bought her snacks and pretty dresses to keep her motivated. But none of it worked. She simply couldn't handle the pressure of studying. Every time we started, she'd whine that she was tired and beg me to let her off the hook. She'd often ask me, "Sis Momo, isn't there an easier way? Like, how can I skip the studying part and still score high like you?" Back then, I just laughed at her silly little fantasy. Who would have thought that heaven would actually grant her wish? In my previous life, my sister had traded our college entrance exam scores. With a score of 723, she instantly became the top scorer in the entire city. She won scholarships from the school, and the city got featured on TV. Tsinghua and Peking University practically fought over who could take her first. And me? I was left with her pathetic 213 points, just enough to scrape into some low-tier technical college in the suburbs. That might have been a dream come true for my sister, but for me, it was a total nightmare. The school that used to be so proud of me completely erased my academic record because my score was just too low. My mom, ashamed, wouldn't even mention my name to our relatives. At home, she grew cold and distant overnight. Just like that, I went from top student to the laughingstock of everyone around me. Some even reported me to the principal, accusing me of cheating my way through all 3 years of high school. The day the school launched a full investigation into my scores was the day I jumped off the rooftop. It wasn't until I was reborn that I finally understood. It was all Lin Qingqing's doing. Hers. And that damn systems. I was in my room watching videos when someone knocked on the door. Lin Qingqing poked her head in, sticking out her tongue playfully. "Sis Momo, studying hard?" she said sweetly. "Mom told me to bring you some fruit." She set the plate down on my desk. But when she saw that I wasn't studying at all, she started to panic a little, then scolded me. "Sis, the college entrance exam is only 2 weeks away. And you're still watching movies?" I took off my headphones, looked up at her, and asked, "Is that a problem?" Lin Qingqing forced a smile. "No, of course not. It's important to rest, too. But, sis, don't let these distractions cloud your focus, okay?" Seeing her forced smile, I laughed to myself. She didn't bring that fruit out of kindness. She came to keep an eye on me. After all, she had traded 10 years of her life to steal my exam score. Of course, she needed to make sure I performed well. "It's okay to watch a little. Just don't forget to study, okay? I'm worried Mom might scold you." I didn't bother replying. She lowered her head and quietly left the room. Not long after Lin Qingqing left, my mom came into the room. She let out a sigh and said with a disapproving tone, "Qingqing only meant well, you know. As her big sister, why did you have to snap at her like that?" I blinked, confused. Snap at her? When did I do that? Thinking back, I had only said 3 words to her. My mom quickly waved it off. Fine. Forget I said anything." But then she saw me watching a show and couldn't hold back her frustration. "Do you even know what time it is? And you're still wasting time on this nonsense? Turn it off. You've got time to watch videos, but not even a few minutes to help Qingqing study? Isn't her future important too?" When I didn't respond, she reached out and snatched the iPad from my hands. "You're getting more stubborn by the day. Ignoring me now, are you?" Then she added sharply, "Let me tell you something. Even if Qingqing isn't your real sister, we're still a family. Our family owes her. You have to help her." Owe her? Have to help her? I had never seen it that way. Lin Qingqing was the daughter of my dad's late best friend. He had been driving the couple on the highway when they got into a car crash. All 3 of them died. Out of guilt, my mom took Qingqing in. And ever since, she's felt like our family is to blame for her tragedy. That guilt turned into overcompensation, so much so that sometimes she treated Qingqing even better than me, her own daughter. She always said, "Qingqing turned out this way because of us. We need to make it up to her." In my past life, I believed that too. I treated Qingqing like my real sister. At school, I protected her. If anyone talked behind her back, I'd be the first to throw hands. At home, I gave her everything. If she liked my new clothes, I handed them over without a word. I thought that if I gave enough, she'd finally feel the warmth of family. But now, looking back, I was just the farmer, and she was the snake. Or maybe I was Dongua, and she was the wolf. Mom, I help her study every single day. But she's the one who doesn't want to learn. I can't force her to care. My mom frowned. That's not the point. Even if she doesn't want to, you need to make her learn. She'll understand eventually. She patted my back and said, "Stop watching, and go help your sister already." Looking back, I should have realized much earlier. My mother's favoritism for Lin Qingqing was more than unfair. It was borderline obsession. The day of the college entrance exam finally arrived. Early in the morning, Lin Qingqing came to wake me up, double-checked my exam card, and even went over my backup pencils 3 times. My mom saw all of this and was deeply touched. "Momo, look how caring your little sister is. She hasn't even packed her own things, and yet she's already thinking about you." Lin Qingqing lowered her head, blushing shyly. "Mom, this is the least I can do. My sister is so smart. I know she'll get an amazing score." Those soft little words brought tears to my mom's eyes. She hugged her tightly and kissed her on the cheek. "Qingqing, you're such a good girl. You really make me proud." Lin Qingqing replied modestly, "Mom, how could I compare to Momo? I'm terrible at studying. She's always been top of the class." My mom pulled her in and lovingly patted her head. "Aya, Momo might be a bit better at studying, but in everything else, she's no match for you. You're sweet, thoughtful, like mommy's little cotton-padded jacket. Sometimes I wonder if you're my real daughter instead." After being her daughter for more than a decade, I still couldn't compare to someone she took in. I gave a small shake of my head, let out a cold little laugh, and turned to leave the house for the exam. Behind me, I heard Lin Qingqing call out, "Good luck, Momo. You've got this." I smiled faintly. "Oh, I'll do well. For the sake of my dearest little sister." Inside the exam room, I let out a big yawn. Then, while everyone stared at me in shock, I rested my head on the desk and fell asleep. Lately, I'd stayed up too late watching shows. I was really tired. In my past life, I didn't even allow myself to watch anything fun, not even a quick look at TV, because I was too focused on getting perfect grades. Those teenage years should have been full of joy. But I turned myself into a boring study robot. All I wanted was to make my mom proud. To be the kind of daughter she could show off to others. But in the end, everything I worked so hard for was handed to someone else on a silver platter. This time, I chose to live for myself. And honestly, it felt great. While I was fast asleep, the test supervisor gently shook me awake. She leaned down and quietly said, "Dear, this is your college entrance exam." I nodded, as if to say, "I know." But when I didn't start writing, she kindly reminded me again. "At least write something, not just your name and ID number." So I sat up and opened the test. It was the math paper. I picked up my pen and, very seriously, wrote one big word on the essay section: solve. Then I put my head down again and went right back to sleep. I could hear the teacher sigh and the surprised gasps from the other students in the room. The day the exam results were released, Lin Qingqing was more nervous than I was. Ever since the test ended, she kept asking how I thought I did. She even went to my homeroom teacher to ask for my estimated score. When she heard I was expecting around 700, she finally let out a sigh of relief. But none of that mattered as much as today. The results were out, but she didn't even bother to check her own score. She just sat behind me, waiting for me to check mine. I turned around and asked, "Qingqing, how did your exam go?" She gave a soft smile. "It was okay. I filled in answers for every single question." I nodded. "That's good." The better she did, the higher my score would be. At exactly 12 noon, I entered my exam ID. The moment the results appeared on the screen, Lin Qingqing jumped out of her seat in shock. "1 point? You only got 1 point?" I looked at that lonely little number and smiled. So, writing the word solve actually got me something, huh? No way. That has to be wrong. There's no way. How could you get just 1 point? She started to panic, pacing back and forth, grabbing her head in disbelief, eyes glued to the computer screen. She looked again and again, but the number 1 stayed the same. My mom stood frozen. She stammered. Momo, did you really take the exam like that? I nodded. Yep. I've always been at the top. Just thought I'd try what it feels like to be at the bottom. Lin Momo, are you crazy? Lin Qingqing couldn't hold it in anymore, and screamed. This is the college entrance exam. The test that decides your entire future. Didn't you say you expected 700 points? What is this 1 point supposed to be? Her yelling even made my mom freeze. For the first time, she saw the real Lin Qingqing. Frantic, angry, and completely losing control. I raised an eyebrow and asked. Funny. I never told anyone my estimated score. How did you know? Lin Qingqing froze. Mouth open. I. But no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't say a single word. Just then, my mom suddenly screamed, pointing straight at Lin Qingqing's face. Ah. Qingqing, your face. Look at your face. Lin Qingqing instantly grabbed her face in a panic. What? What happened to my face? She rushed to the bathroom like lightning. Suddenly, she screamed from inside the bathroom. Aya! Aya! At the exact same time, my score on the computer screen silently changed. The swap had completed. My result now showed 213 points. Lin Qingqing burst out of the bathroom. The skin on her face had become wrinkled. Her cheeks were covered in dark spots. And 2 deep lines had appeared on her neck. She had traded 10 years of her life, and now, in a matter of seconds, an 18-year-old girl had turned into a 28-year-old woman. At the same time, a notification popped up on Lin Qingqing's phone. My mom glanced at it and gasped. Qingqing? You also got just 1 point? Hearing that, Lin Qingqing snatched the phone from her hands. I turned and calmly corrected my mom. Mom, I didn't get 1 point. I got over 200. She walked up to the screen and stared carefully. Sure enough, my score had changed from 1 to 213. She rubbed her eyes, confused and shaken. What? What's going on here? I shrugged, pretending not to care. No idea. Must be a system glitch or something. Aya! Lin Qingqing suddenly screamed again, and smashed her phone on the ground. Her eyes were burning red, filled with hatred, like she wanted to tear me apart. Lin Momo. You did this to me. You ruined me on purpose. I blinked innocently. What are you talking about, Qingqing? I don't understand. Her hand trembled as she pointed at me, but she couldn't say anything about the score swap. She had no choice but to swallow her rage. I won't forgive you for this. And with that, Lin Qingqing stormed out of the house, with the face of a 28-year-old woman. Qingqing! My mom shouted after her in a panic, running to catch up. But she couldn't. And when she came back, she turned her anger on me. What did you do to her? Why did she end up like this? She didn't care at all that I scored over 200. All she could do was panic. Go find her right now. If something happens to Qingqing, I won't be able to live with myself. You're listening to a story on Silent and Tales. After the score swap, I instantly became a joke to the entire school. When I returned to class, the teachers looked at me with disappointed eyes and sighed. My classmates whispered behind my back, mocking me like I wasn't even there. Wasn't Lin Momo super arrogant before? Acting like she was better than everyone else. Guess she finally got what she deserved. So smart, huh? Got barely 200 points. From top of the class to rock bottom. And she still calls herself a study genius? We were probably fooled this whole time. What if all her past grades were fake too? Who drops 500 points on the real exam? Just like in my previous life, rumors came pouring in like a heavy rainstorm. But this time, I was ready. The principal called me to his office. He kept sighing and told me that many students had reported me. They said I faked my grades during the past 3 years and asked the school to check all my test papers again. I just shrugged. Sure. Let them check. After checking everything, they didn't find anything wrong. Some of the mock exams I took had questions so hard that even the teachers couldn't solve them. But I could. If I had really faked it, how could I have pulled that off? But ironically, that made people even more unwilling to believe the truth. The principal was so frustrated, he slapped his thigh in anger. Lin Momo, what were you even thinking during the college entrance exam? I contacted the proctor for your test room. She said you didn't take the exam seriously at all. You just slept like a rock the whole time. This was the college entrance exam. You just destroyed your future. No one can help you now. As I walked out of his office, I saw my homeroom teacher. He had always been the kindest to me. But now, he just shook his head and walked away without saying a word. And honestly, I couldn't blame him. I had let him down too much. When I got home, my mom didn't stop blaming me. She wiped her tears while crying and yelling. Ching Ching only got 1 point. And it's all your fault. If you had cared about her, even a little, things wouldn't have ended up like this. You did badly on the exam, because it's karma. Heaven is punishing you. You deserve it. Lin Ching Ching didn't come home for a few days, and my mom dumped all the blame on me. I took out the college application guide, hoping to discuss my school choices with her. But she instantly slapped the book away. Your sister hasn't even come home yet, and you're already thinking about college? Do you even have a heart? I said nothing, just bent down and picked the book back up. Mom, she's not missing. I said quietly. She posted a story just a little while ago. She's pretending to be fine. My mother snapped. She doesn't want us to worry. She continued, her voice rising with anger. Momo, how can you be so heartless? She's your sister. Don't you care about her at all? Then my mom pointed toward the door and gave me an ultimatum. Go find her. Right now. If you can't bring her back, don't come home either. I looked out at the pouring rain, then glanced at the story Lin Ching Ching had just posted, a calm, dreamy scene as if nothing had happened. All right. I'll go find her. I walked through the pouring rain, and just as expected, I came down with a fever. It was so bad that I ended up missing the deadline for college applications. When my mom saw that I hadn't brought Lin Ching Ching back, she didn't bother to take care of me. Instead, she left to go look for her. My best friend, Selena, came to visit me. The moment she saw me lying in bed, burning up with fever, tears started falling down her face. What do we do now, Momo? You can't even get into a vocational school anymore. Once the application system closes, they don't reopen it. I gave a cold smile. Who said I wanted to go to a vocational school? Why should I have to go to some trashy school just because Lin Ching Ching's pathetic score? Selena didn't get it at first, so I leaned in and whispered a few words to her. Her eyes lit up immediately. That's brilliant. Way better than going to some vocational school. At the same time, she also brought me some shocking news. Lin Qingqing had gone viral. She was now an online celebrity. All because she scored 1 point on the college entrance exam. This year, the education department strictly banned interviews with top scorers, leaving reporters desperate for story material. That's when they discovered a student at my school who scored 1 point on the college entrance exam. 0-point scores? Plenty. Top scorers? Also plenty. But exactly 1 point? That was almost unheard of. They rushed to interview Lin Qingqing. At first, she hesitated, but for some reason, she ended up agreeing to the interview. When the reporter asked, "How did you end up with just 1 point?" she lowered her head slightly and gave a shy smile. "I didn't expect it either. Turns out, writing the word solve really did get me a point." A high school girl, a bit clueless, a little shy in front of the camera, plus the bizarre story of scoring exactly 1 point. These factors were more than enough to send the internet into a frenzy. That interview clip was cut and posted on TikTok, and it blew up immediately. In less than half a day, it had already surpassed 10 million views. At first, people online didn't believe she actually scored only 1 point. They thought it was just some cheap PR stunt. So Lin Qingqing created accounts on multiple platforms and uploaded a photo of her actual score report with the caption, "I'm not lying. It really is just 1 point." The internet exploded with laughter. Turns out someone really did get 1 point. Soon after, she posted another video. In it, she pouted slightly and looked at the camera with a pitiful expression. "I really did try hard. I answered every multiple choice question. But I still only got 1 point in the end. So here's a tip. Write solve at the start of every essay question. You might get lucky." Scoring only 1 point after finishing the whole test? Now that takes a special kind of talent. Before long, memes and jokes about Lin Qingqing started spreading like wildfire. In just 3 days, her follower count across all platforms had shot up by hundreds of thousands. She crafted the image of a clueless high school girl, earnest but unlucky, naive, and sweet. Riding on the hype of being the girl who scored 1 point, she raked in massive views and gained fans like crazy. Her pretty face even earned her the nickname, the 1-point goddess. Selena showed me Lin Qingqing's social media account and asked with worry in her voice, "Momo, at this rate, Lin Qingqing doesn't even need college anymore. With that many fans, she can make a living just fine." Who would have thought getting 1 point could be her big break? As she spoke, a new notification popped up. Duke Kunshan University invites the 1-point goddess to enroll. Full scholarship. Selena was furious. This is ridiculous. Duke Kunshan is offering her a full ride? I let out a small smile. Others might not know the truth, but I do. Lin Qingqing came back home, surrounded by glory and overflowing pride. She was now a famous internet star. Her college admission was already settled. All she had to do was wait for the official acceptance letter. My mom was so happy, her eyes nearly disappeared when she smiled. She told everyone she met that she had an amazing daughter. As for me, I had already been pushed to the sidelines. The admission letter delivery date was drawing closer. My mom went all out, booking the most luxurious hotel in the city for Lin Qingqing's celebration party. The guest list didn't just include family and friends, but also teachers and classmates from our school. Now that Lin Qingqing had become a school legend, even underclassmen approached her for autographs. Right before the party started, Lin Qingqing waved at me and called me into the restroom. Lin Momo, come clean all this up. She pointed at the sink, which was piled high with expensive makeup products. Because she had swapped exam scores with me, her current face was now that of a 28-year-old woman. To look young and glowing, she had to rely on layers of makeup to hide her age. As I quietly helped her tidy up, Lin Qingqing let out a mocking laugh. Look at you now, Lin Momo. Pathetic. The grades you were so proud of are gone. Your college dreams are ruined. And your mom spent her life savings on my celebration party. You have nothing left. I stopped moving, looked up, and smiled calmly. And what about you? How much do you have left? Her expression changed instantly. What do you mean by that? Didn't you know a famous online girl from that bar? That fan base of hundreds of thousands. Didn't you trade for it using the system? Lately, her followers have dropped like crazy. Lin Qingqing's face turned pale. The blush in her hand froze midair. I kept going. And that Duke Kunshan admission letter. Where did that come from? Must have cost you a lot to trade for it, huh? Her eyes narrowed. She lowered her voice, cautious. How? How do you know all this? Of course I knew. Because from the first day I came back, I had prepared for everything, including secretly placing a listening device in her room. All her conversations with the system, everything she gave up in exchange, I knew them all. Seeing me standing there smiling, Lin Qingqing gave a crooked smile of her own, forced and twisted. You're so smart, Lin Momo. Then tell me this. Do you know what I'm going to trade for next? I frowned. What? Her smile widened with satisfaction. I'm going to swap identities with you. And take everything that used to be yours. The college celebration officially started. On stage, the host stood between my mom and Lin Qingqing, talking about the touching relationship between mother and daughter. With tears in her eyes, my mom said, "The thing I'm most proud of in my life is having a sweet daughter like Qingqing." Lin Qingqing was crying too. Mom, you've always been the one I love the most. They hugged tightly, and everyone clapped like crazy. It felt like the whole room had forgotten that I was the real daughter. And at that moment, I finally understood. Lin Qingqing didn't just want to swap test scores. She wanted to swap identities. She wanted to become my mother's real daughter. Hey guys! I'm live streaming the celebration for the internet's newest star, the 1-point goddess. Don't forget to like and follow. A pretty girl was holding up her phone, recording the stage. I recognized her. She was the influencer Lin Qingqing had stolen followers from. But because Qingqing was now super famous, this girl's livestream got tons of viewers, and her follower count was going up fast. Then I noticed something. Each time her followers went up, Qingqing's followers went down. Maybe the things that were swapped could still be taken back. You're listening to a story on Silent and Tales. On stage, Lin Qingqing suddenly picked up the mic. To be honest, I want to thank my sister, Lin Momo. Without her, I wouldn't be here today. Even though she didn't do well on her college exam, only got a little over 200 points, and didn't even register for any schools in time, she's still the best sister ever. Momo, why don't you come up and say a few words? Your favorite teachers and closest friends are all here. Everyone in the hall turned to look at me. The livestream camera also pointed straight at me. So she wanted to embarrass me? Too bad. I wasn't going to let that happen. She continued with a fake smile. Sis, tell everyone, how did your score drop from 700 to just over 200? The school gave you so many chances. Your teacher even Gave up time with his own family to help you. But you still failed. Don't you have anything to say to him? And what about Mom? She believed in you so much. Do you think you deserve that? Her questions made the whole room fall silent. Lin Qingqing kept smiling, as if she were putting me on trial, pushing me to the center of attention, to be judged by everyone. The classmates in the audience stared at me with disgust. My homeroom teacher turned away. Even my mother pursed her lips and refused to look at me. I stepped onto the stage, took the mic from her, cleared my throat, and asked calmly, "What about you, Kong Qingqing? You lived in my house for years, ate our food, did nothing to help, and still betrayed us. Do you really think you deserve all this?" Her real last name wasn't Lin. It was Kong. Her parents had passed away, yes, but she still had relatives who could have taken her in. Instead, she chose my mom. When my mom went to visit her parents' grave, Qingqing cried and begged, saying she was just a helpless orphan, with nowhere to go. My mom felt sorry for her and brought her home. Now, hearing me call out her real name, Qingqing's eyes went wide in shock. "What are you talking about? I never hurt anyone. Stop lying." I pulled out my phone and started reading. October 1st. So annoyed. That old woman keeps yelling at me to study. Study this. Study that. What for? I'm not even her real daughter. She should mind her own business. Can't wait for her to shut up. November 9th. She made her daughter teach me again. I pretended not to understand, made her explain one question for 2 hours. Then she blamed her daughter. Haha. Idiots. The whole family. She cried and said sorry to me, promised to treat me like her own daughter. But who needs a mom like that? What a joke. The entire room was stunned into silence, every eye fixed on Qingqing in disbelief. I looked at her trembling figure and let out a faint smile. "These are all posts from your secret backup account. You really thought no one would find them? But nothing stays hidden forever. Also, I already got a full scholarship from Oxford University a long time ago. I've just been waiting to finish the paperwork. So this party today, it's actually a celebration for me." Kong Qingqing froze. She pointed at me, shocked. "Then why did you still take the college exam?" I leaned closer and whispered, "Silly girl. Because you wanted to swap scores with me, remember? So I took the test, just for you. And I got exactly 1 point." Her whole body seemed to lose all strength. She stood frozen, her eyes empty, staring into the void in front of her. She fainted right there, too angry and shocked to speak. But this time, my mom didn't care anymore. She was already too disappointed. And at the hospital, the doctors were shocked too. Qingqing was clearly only 18, yet her medical results were those of a woman in her 40s or 50s. The party went on, but this time, the spotlight belonged to me. "Momo, this is such a big deal. Why did you keep it a secret from me?" My mom laughed and cried at the same time. She held my hand tightly, gently stroking my hair, as if I were her most precious treasure. For the first time in years, I saw love and warmth in her eyes, and it was all for me. "I wanted to surprise you, Mom." Surprise? I almost had a heart attack. She scolded me, but her eyes were filled with love. I was wrong. All these years, I only tried to make it up to Qingqing. And I forgot how you must have felt. "Momo, can you forgive me?" I looked at her and said softly, "Mom, the accident back then, it wasn't your fault. And it wasn't Dad's either. The real one to blame was the drunk driver. So please, stop blaming yourself. You don't owe Kong Ching Ching anything. Our family doesn't owe her anything. Hearing that, my mom burst into tears and hugged me tightly, nodding over and over again. Being accepted to Oxford completely turned my reputation around. The principal came over with a drink, smiling. Lin Momo, you really scared us. You got accepted into one of the world's top universities, but you still went and took the college exam? All the teachers were so worried. I smiled. I spent so much time preparing. It would have felt like a waste not to show up. But honestly, I was super sleepy that day. I ended up falling asleep in the middle of the test. The principal laughed and patted me on the shoulder. Sleeping is fine. Your health comes first. Come on, let's take a photo together. I'll have a big banner made for you and hang it at the school gate. My college celebration party turned out grand and perfect. But still, many people didn't understand one thing. If I had already been accepted into Oxford, why didn't I say so earlier? Because only I knew, if I said it too soon, Ching Ching would have used the system to steal it from me. The fact that I had returned to life was a secret I would take to my grave. The next time I saw Kong Ching Ching, she looked very weak. She was lying in a plain hospital bed, and she looked like a tiny old lady. When she saw me, she gave a bitter smile. Momo, did you come here to laugh at me? I picked up an apple and slowly peeled it. She snorted. I heard you spent last semester preparing to apply to international universities. You hid it so well. Afraid I'd steal your spot? Crunch. I took a bite of the apple. I chewed slowly, then spoke coldly. You can't swap anymore. I've known this system's secret for a long time. If you fail to swap 3 times, the system disappears, and everything you gave up in exchange will be taken back all at once. You traded over 200 points for just one of mine. You gave more, got less. First failure. You swapped followers with another influencer, but she took them back. Second failure. I helped my mom see the truth, and she stopped treating you as her own. Third failure. Kong Ching Ching widened her eyes, staring at me in disbelief. She fell into a long, heavy silence. Finally, she shook her head, her eyes deep in calm, and spoke slowly. Looks like you know everything about me, but you got one thing wrong. Swapping identities with you. That was actually my first failure. Not long after I came to your house, I got the life swap system. But each time I wanted to use it, I had to give up some of my life. I was scared, so I didn't dare to use it. It wasn't until later, when I saw how well your mom treated you. Even though she was kind to me too, I wasn't her real daughter. I thought, if I could become her real daughter, that would be the best. I froze. So, she had been trying to swap with me for years. She just never succeeded. It turned out, the identity swap had failed because I had exposed her at that party. My mom had finally seen through Ching Ching's true colors, and the system had vanished. Perhaps human emotion is something that even mysterious, supernatural forces cannot easily take away. Kong Ching Ching continued, a bitter smile playing on her lips. Lin Momo, do you know what I was most jealous of? It wasn't your high scores, or being top of the class. It was that you had a mother who truly loved you. All those years, even though your mom treated me better and better, and treated you colder and colder, deep down, she always had a line she wouldn't cross. To her, her real daughter was still you. I stayed silent. Then, I placed the peeled apple on the table beside her and left the hospital. The next month, I boarded a plane to England. Outside my high school, a large photo of me and the principal was posted right at the front gate. A big banner still hung above it, saying, "Congratulations on getting into Oxford." All the doubts and mocking from before had finally turned into respect and praise. And my mom, the woman who raised me all by herself, had finally started living for herself too. She joined a senior travel club and began traveling the country with her friends. I lost everything in my past life, but this time, I took it all back. It was the beginning of a brand new life.
Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.